Hello everybody! So this video is coming a little bit late. This is my last recent reads of 2016. I'm filming this like mid-January. That's how it always is. This is just wrapping up the last of the books that I read in 2016. First thing I'm going to talk about is Paper Girls Volume 1 and 2 by Brian K. Vaughan and Cliff Chiang, I believe. Yes, and Matt Wilson and Jared K. Fletcher. This is a graphic novel series about these four paper delivery girls in the 80s who one morning discover, and I quote, the most important story of all time. And I still don't really know what that story is. I get that there's some kind of like weird warped like time travel or like multiple dimensions thing, and there's one of the main characters, there's like 3 different versions of her in the story because they're time traveling. It's really confusing and I really have no idea what's going on. And that fact alone is the only reason that I'm intrigued to read more, but I probably won't. I love the art in them, it's really stunning. Really gorgeous art. These weren't that fantastic. They were very average for me. The second one was the first one was pretty good. The second one I kind of had to push myself to finish. So I don't know if I'll continue them. The art is really good. It's a really intriguing story. It just wasn't for me, maybe. It's more of a it's me, it's not the books in this situation. The Infinite Sea by Rick Yancey. I finally got around to this. I've heard from a ton of people that the second book is crap. I understand where they're coming from. It was really weird and felt very disconnected from the first book. And so much of the story took place in this one setting for so long, and it was so drawn out there. It's kind of like when there's 2 people in a canoe and they're paddling the same way, and so they're just going around and around in circles. Like, it just seemed like we were just spinning wheels and not really progressing the plot along. These books have always been really eerie, like the aliens and just the haunting way that they're written, how mysterious they are, and the things that are uncovered. It's really eerie to read. Being 300 pages was plenty for this book. Like, it already had lots of filler and lots of diddling around. It did not need to be a 400 or 500 page book. It was but I'll probably finish the trilogy at some point. How to Build a Girl by Caitlin Moran. I believe it's pronounced Caitlin. This is a story about a teenage girl growing up in the 90s in impoverished England. Her family is very poor, and she's one of 5 kids. It starts out when she's 14. I think it ends when she's nearing the age of 18. And basically, she's really unhappy with her life and who she is. She embarrasses herself really bad on local TV, and all of these things combined make her decide that she wants to change her life, change who she is, and just basically reinvent herself and become this totally new person. And so she starts calling herself a different name. She starts dressing differently and trying to act really like she knows what she's doing, fake it till you make it, you know? She ends up getting a gig reviewing music. She gets thrust into this industry where it's just populated by lots of older men. Like, she was like 15, so yeah, obviously older. She's drinking and smoking and partying and traveling all over the UK, interviewing musicians and writing music reviews. She becomes this lady sex adventurer, and she's very focused on sex. She definitely has a lot of flaws, and she also, the things that she thinks and the way that she lives are definitely problematic. In this book, from start to finish, is still just her growing, and so it's not anything like final. Like, she's still just 17 at the end of the novel. Oh, I'm sure we won't, but if you've ever seen her as like an adult, like at 20-something, I think she'd have it all together and be much more likable. It didn't blow my mind, but I really enjoyed it, and I think it might be something that I reread. Frozen Tides by Morgan Rhodes is the 4th book in this series. I don't even know what it's called, Fallen Kingdoms or something. It took me until the 4th book to realize that I don't really like this series. Like, I don't really care about it, and I don't know why. I invested, like, I just started reading it and I kind of read it all in one big go. Like, I started reading at the end of November or something, and there's still more books. One more is out now. It's a fantasy series about these kingdoms warring over the throne of one of the countries, and it follows all these different young main characters who get involved in that. Most of them are royalty. I'm not usually a fan of reading from royalty because they always come across as very snooty and whiny. But these guys are definitely interesting. None of them are likable. They're all very grey. None of them I can relate to at all, and so I think I just don't even care. Also in this book specifically, one of the female main characters who has been fighting for this one thing throughout the entire series. It's her one like thing that she wants most in the world. She kind of just hands over to one of the male characters because she kind of likes him. When they were enemies before, and in the third book they start to kind of like each other, and now she's just like willing to give him everything. No, it doesn't make sense to me. It's very male driven. It's a very male driven world, which yeah, I know most fantasies are. It's a series that lots of people love. I've heard lots of great things about it. I enjoyed it. I find it really interesting. It's kind of like YA Game of Thrones, as I've said before, but I just don't really care that much about the characters or about the story or about any of it. This is the next book, Burning Girls by Victoria Shanos. It is a novella that I threw in at the end of the year because I was freaking out about being at like 47 books and being like, I really want to get to 50, and this was like the last day of the year. It's only like 30 something pages. It's about a Jewish girl educated by her grandmother as a healer, and her growing up and her family in hostile Poland, and basically this demon that has latched itself onto her family and is killing them off, and so her and her sister move to America, and it was actually really good. I was surprised because this was just a novella that I had on my phone for a long time that I got for free on iBooks or something a long time ago and had never read it, and I actually enjoyed it a lot and found it really interesting, and the writing was really good. The second to last book is Overview by Benjamin Grant, which is just a stunning book. It is inspired by the Daily Overview Instagram, which is run by Benjamin Grant, where he takes these satellite images and stitches them all together to make these stunning images here, these full, beautiful, colorful images from all over the world. And he's made this book, and it has information about the images, you know, alongside it, and it's just this really great overview, like look at our world. It has all these different chapters, like where we play and live and design and extract, and the last one, where we are not. And so it kind of takes, throughout most of the book, it shows you all of humans, you know, impact on the world, and then at the end it takes a step back and it's like, okay, here's what we haven't yet, you know, ruined. I've heard, you know, a few people say, ooh, the information can be a little, you know, possibly stretched, but I'm not one to argue because I didn't do the research for this book, so unless I'm proven otherwise, you know, I'm gonna go along with it. It has juxtapositions of like before and after Fukushima and during and after Burning Man. This is a very expensive book. It's in the $50 range. I saw it in chapters a while back, right when it came out, and I was like, wow, I'll never be able to afford this glorious book. But then I saw it on Amazon for like, well, very cheap, for like $15, and I was like, I'm there. So you have to watch. Amazon will have sales periodically. If you follow the Daily Overview account, he'll post when there are sales or great deals, or when he's giving them away. He gives them away periodically. Alright, last thing, I read Neil Gaiman's Make Good Art speech. I've listened to this before on YouTube a long time ago, and it's just a great speech about being a human and making art. And there's nothing really else to say about it. It's great, it's fantastic. It's like the tiniest little thing, honestly. It's like a few pages. I don't have a physical copy, but this physical copy has a really nice design. It's very stunningly put together. Apparently, it was what I really needed to hear after struggling through the year of 2016, as a lot of us did. I've heard some people say 2016 is the best year of their life as well, if not their life. And I'm really happy for those people. That's great. That's fantastic. But I know lots of people it wasn't that great of a year. And when I'm really having an existential crisis, I've got to remember to go back and listen to it because it just cleared my mind. I was like, yes, I got this. That's the last of the books that I read in 2016. So let's discuss them in the comments. As always, let's bring on the hate about, you know, the books that I disliked and whatever. I will be back soon with another video because I've been like making videos lately, and I'm very excited to be back to like doing this as a thing because I've been so sporadic with it over the last like year or so. So hopefully I'll keep going. Yeah, alright. Have a good day or night wherever you are. Bye.